Welcome to this new video where I'm going to discuss the homework for chapter 7.1, questions 6 till 9. I thought these questions were rather easy to answer, or otherwise you'll have to find the answers in your book or using your common knowledge. For question 6, I'm going to read the question and I'll give you the answers. For question 6, I just made a table, and here you see the table. It has different columns. Here is, of course, the name, and here is where it's in the electromagnetic spectrum. And here are the colors. Well, infrared is non-visible as well as ultraviolet. We can notice it, but we don't. Our eyes aren't able to see them. Helium cadmium will be bluish. Copper is in the green area, and ruby will be in the red area. You have to use the picture of figure 4 from page 263 for that and for this question. Table 2. Yeah. For question 7, look at the infrared photo in figure 7. Infrared photo photographs the heat, actually, because infrared is the other word for heat. The police uses this as well with infrared helicopters when they are looking for people or when they are looking for wheat plantations. Question 7, which parts of the dog's body are at the highest temperature? And those are the eyes. You can see with the index on the other side of the paper, it will be about 36, 37 degrees. You can notice this for sure, for precise, but it's about 36, 37 degrees. Which part is the coldest or has the lowest temperature? It's the nose, and I had to look it up. The nose of a dog has to be a little bit moist, otherwise it doesn't work well. And if it's a little bit moist, the temperature is a lot lower as well. Explain why an infrared camera often makes clearer images at night than in daytime. That has to do with the difference in temperature, because at daytime the difference in temperature isn't that big compared to the normal body, and at night there's a bigger difference in temperatures, so it makes sure that the photos are more clear. For question 8, it is a rather disturbing X-ray. Figure 10 shows an X-ray photo of a man's neck. Why is the object in the throat clearly visible? Explain, and that's an important question. The material is made of metal, and metal absorbs X-ray, and that's the reason why it's visible on a photo. When objects that are able to pass through the X-ray, or the X-ray pass through the objects, you won't see it on the photo. But when it's able to absorb, then you can see it. Put the objects below in sequence according to how much they absorb X-rays. Well, air, tissue, and clothes are pretty close to each other. Air is really easy to pass through. Tissue and clothes are really, really close. Bones and the object are a little bit different. Why is the object as the last part? Because it's a little bit more hard to pass through for the X-ray, because it's made of metal. And you can see it on the photo that it's a little bit more white compared to the bones. Of course, the bones are pretty white because you've got a lot more bones than this object, but because it's made of metal, it's harder to pass through. For question 9, a factory produces window glasses for a large building. Figure 11 shows you what one widely used type of glass does with the incident sunlight. What percentage of the visible light is absorbed by this type of glass? It's 9%. And how do you calculate it? You've got 100% of incident light, 9% is reflected, 82 is transmitted, so then you've got 9% left, and that's absorbed. Question B, 3 windows of this type are put one behind the other in an experiment. Show that the amount of radiation that passes through is at least 55%. Now, each time you lose 18%. 9% is absorbed and 9% is reflected. So if you have 3 windows, you each time lose 18%. So that means 65% will pass through. The factory can give the glass a thin coating, a top layer, that reflects part of the light that falls on it. What effect does the coating have on the amount of absorbed light, transmitted light, and reflected light? Well, the absorbed and transmitted light will become less, and the reflected light will become more because such a coating will mean that it's more able to reflect. And the last question, what happens in the summer? It can go two ways. It reflects more, so the less sun gets in the office, so the reflected light will have a higher percentage, but you've also got the sunlight inside is a little bit trapped because of isolation. So I think it can go two ways, but most of the time it doesn't really work that well. Well, these are the answers for question 6 till 9 for your homework this lesson. For the next lesson, please look up to the video of paragraph 7.2.